that early Camino pilgrims used that described the mindset that enveloped me along my Camino. Ultrea. It means onward and upward with joy. As I learned the three biggest lessons the Camino had for me, Ultrea became more present in my way of life, in my life. Those lessons, as well as the walk, took me on a journey into myself. And as I learned, simplify, take one step at a time, and drop expectations, I realized that they made my Camino richer, and I've realized later, they make my life richer too. We are all pressured with more stuff, more time commitments, more work hours, but more weighs you down. And that is where Simplify comes in. Simplify was my first lesson. For example, as I was preparing for my first Camino, the bit of advice that I followed was carry no more than 10% of your body weight. But 12 pounds of gear isn't much. I quickly realized that for 5 weeks, my life would be somewhat like a turtle's, and everything I needed would be on my back. Keeping my belongings as simple as possible would make for a wonderful walk. I decided to have a lot of my gear do double duty. For example, the water bladder I used to keep me hydrated during the day, I could fill with warm water at night and it would warm my bed. My meditation shawl could be my towel. My walking pants could become shorts by zipping off the lower part of the leg. And my sun hat, which nicely shaded me during the day, after I sprayed it with water repellent, became a rain hat. And it was a lovely rain hat to boot. So keeping my pack as light as possible allowed me to move more easily and not be as exhausted by the end of the day. By keeping my belongings as simple as possible, I also had to learn or use different routines. For example, I washed my clothes daily. I bought food as I needed. And I stopped early for the night to secure a bed and to celebrate the day's adventures with my Camino family. And it was worth it. By simplifying my gear, it removed blocks that kept me from connecting to the people and the energy of the Camino. Damian, one of the guys I walked with on my first trip, was the poster child for the benefits of simplifying. Initially, he was carrying way too much in his pack. It must have weighed 50 pounds. And when I tell you what he had, you'll also not be surprised that it was so heavy. His large bag was bulging at the seams. He had his Crocs shoved into the 2 side pockets. He had a pair of tie shoes dangling from the back. His liter water bottle was dangling from the front. He had his food in a bag on his chest. He was wearing a down coat, but he also had a fleece sweater jacket-like thing stuck between the straps and the shoulder straps in the pack. He's acclimated to sea level. Walking up the steep Pyrenees slopes took its toll on him. I thought he was going to have a heart attack when I walked by. He declined any help. He sent, when he got to the first city, most of his gear home. He simplified even further a few days later. By the time he reached Santiago, carrying a much lighter pack. Damian had lost 30 pounds and glowed in good health. Carrying too much in your life weighs not only you down, but also those around you. Too much is a burden. Too much equals too much money spent, too much stuff collected, too much time wasted, and too much worry. As you can see, too much really is a burden. You have heard me talk about how I simplified, how Damian simplified. Well, I've said that I learned these lessons apply to my life. I came home and simplified my life further too. I have cleared out a lot of my closet. I have taken a lot of my belongings to the various resale stores. I've simplified my diet. I've learned to prioritize my time so that my social life, my extracurricular activities, and my work life are more simple as well. I'm taking control of my life. So where can you simplify your lives? Can you cut down on your wardrobe? Can you get rid of some of your belongings? How about your work hours or your social time? Where can you simplify? B.J. Fogg says in his book, Tiny Habits, simplicity changes behavior. So where are you going to change? Imagine embracing simplicity and moving through life more smoothly and effortlessly. When you keep simplicity in mind, you collect less stuff, you don't overcommit your time, and you can stop to smell the roses. With simplicity in mind, you can spend time with the people who matter, doing the things that matter. Madam Toastmaster?
I forgot if you have to clap or
Oh, yeah.
kind of like
Okay, so we got a minute.
2 minutes.
To do the evaluation?
Let's do, let's do 2 minutes just to do the evaluation.
2 minutes. Do we have timer 2 minutes?